Happy New Year's to you all. Welcome back to Biblio Fitness. Hope everyone had a great New Year's. Got lit or whatever it is they decided to do. Went to the gym. I didn't go to the gym on New Year's. I think I did. Yeah, I did. I did legs, but like in the afternoon. Yeah, was it? Yeah, in the afternoon. But it was crazy where I was. I was with some friends, and it really did sound like it sounded like artillery fire. And I'm like, well, this times 100 must be what like war is. And I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure there was also gunshots. A lot of them sounded like gunshots. They didn't sound like fireworks. But you can never tell. I'm not a gun expert, so I can't really elaborate further. So today, I wanted to talk about the book 1984 from George Orwell. I see quite a few people that I follow that are beginning to read that book again, and with just cause, of course, because it seems that that book is becoming more and more relevant by the day, which leads to the pessimistic notion that history repeats itself. And all this bullshit of progress is a facade because we continue to suffer from the same ailments in a way. So I've read that book a few times. If you haven't read that book, I would highly suggest that you place it at the top of your reading list. It's a fantastic critique of totalitarianism, same as Animal Farm. Both are fantastic books, honestly. I know more of 1984 because I've always been drawn to it a little bit more. But Animal Farm is another fantastic work of literature, and it's short, and it's like it just gets to the point. All animals are created equal, but not. What is it? All animals are created equal, but some are more equal than others. Which is, of course, a lie that you have to place as the center of your governmental apparatus in terms of legitimacy, because it is, in a way, like the whole premise of your revolution was the rise of the proletariat, the rise of the working class, like like the whole workers' paradise shit. But you have to lead them. Like everyone's equal, but some have more tasks than others. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it is. But 1984 is drawing a lot of relevance because one of the biggest critiques about the way things are is this whole woke bullshit and the indoctrination of certain ideas onto children and onto us through means of social media and things of that nature, which is like hours and hours of a discussion in and upon itself. So, and for good reason, I'm not a fan of wokeness. I'm not a fan of this politically correct shit. I'm not a fan of the damage that is inflicted upon the human consciousness and how soft it's made us become, how effeminate we have become because of trying to acquiesce to everyone's fucking feelings and shit. Like, this world is not big enough to it's not big enough for all of us and our fucking feelings. People will be offended, there will be losers, and there will be winners. Like, it's just how the world works. And there's a certain order of things. And I don't subscribe to these ridiculous delusions of this postmodern thought and how pervasive it has become. And, in the name of inclusion, it's just causing more and more exclusion and segregation and really, simple and being absolute reductionist in terms of how humans are and how different we are from one another. We're similar, but we're very different. They just put you in boxes like you're like, for me, like I'm a male Latino or some shit, but it doesn't take into account what my experiences are, what my ideas are. I may not be the same. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna have the same ideas as the next Latino male that you're gonna find. But that's what it's become, and obviously way more shit than that. So, and reading 1984, it just gives you the dystopian, and I've said this before, it is becoming to me an increasing inevitability. The elite are gaining more and more power. It's becoming increasingly more simple. Like it's due to the advancements in technology, they're going to be able to implement far greater levels of control. And I feel like the indoctrination, the ideas that they throw out there with, identity politics and other bullshit social issues that I've spoken about before, is I think it's playing the long game. I think it's getting people from universities and from colleges, and then once they get out into the working force, and they start throwing they're already indoctrinated, so they start it becomes like a social contagion, generational on a generational scale, and you're just gonna have a society where people are gonna be coerced into one world view, and especially now where people just rat each other out and virtue seek everybody. There's gonna be heavy policing and a lack of trust in between everyday ordinary men, and the severance of people's trust amongst each other, I believe, is one of the crucial steps in order for a totalitarian government to actually exist. And that's the only way. Like, just fear, you're not going to get the population to do what you want them to do just by fear alone. Like, they have to not just fear you, but they also have to fear their neighbors, and in that way, a concentration of actual counter revolution or revolution, an existence of an agglomeration of resistance fighters or some shit like that. Like, a resistance is going to be substantially reduced just because of that lack of trust, which is definitely going to work out. And in 1984, I don't really want to go the whole way into it. You're gonna have to read it. It's just it's a fantastic book. The Thought Police, the Ministry of Truth, the Ministry of Love, the Ministry of Plenty, and how they're just the complete opposite of one another. And that's how I was alluding to earlier with the whole identity politics, and how we all have to be together and come together, and we're all equal. But then it's constantly seditious rhetoric that they throw out there. They want to separate people into certain blocks, and obviously the bipartisan fever that's going on right now. The partisan fever that's going on right now is definitely exasperating the situation. But I feel like 1984 is just like, it's what happens when one of these parties actually get what they want and they implement their ideology. And this is what happens when you allow this whole thing, like certain people are allowed to talk and certain people are not. Certain people are allowed to maintain their pages on a platform, but some others have to get taken off. People like Andrew Tate or Sneeko, or it's shit like that. People who I agree with for the most part. There's some eccentricities there, but we are human and we're not going to agree 100%. But they've been canceled for espousing a certain philosophy. But who are these people to say what's right and what's wrong? You're allowing certain people to dictate morals, and the whole structure of morality is being dictated by these people with dubious intentions. It's just a glimpse to what might be a possibility. Like, it's becoming an inevitability at this point. Because we're falling into it. It's pretty crazy how bitch we've become as well. I feel like this is all on purpose. Like, obviously this is very conspiracy driven, but I don't think it's conspiracy of like the vast majority of people to see what's coming. Like, I'm glad like at least the access to information has allowed more people to voice a certain idea and a certain conclusion about what can happen if we allow this to go on how it has been going on for these past few years. So I highly recommend that book. 1984 really is a freaking masterpiece. I read it every once in a while. I read it like 4 or 5 times at this point. I'm probably gonna read it again soon, along with Animal Farm. They're just great books. And doing that, I'm probably gonna read Dostoevsky. I'm gonna stop the Roman history for a while and read some Dostoevsky or Dostoevsky. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the mispronunciation. It's not for a lack of respect, okay? I'm just an uncultured one. But hope you all have a great day. Hope you all make some amazing games. Hope you all make progressive overload of reality today. You know, get your music. Make sure you execute. It's always a great day when you get to work out. It feels good. I'm still learning to appreciate it more. You know what I'm saying? Like, being more in the moment. It's always a process, right? Like there's just so much more than just training. And like once you love it, it becomes just like, it becomes a part of you, and it's definitely going to affect your philosophy and your view on life and view how you assess things. Like I always talk about the principles that it bestowed upon me that I needed. So I'm always grateful. Till next time, guys. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.